Welcome back, everybody, to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. We are your Omniverse Comics Guide guys. I'm Eric. That's my pal Dave bopping. How you doing, pal?
A bopping, dude. I'm the bopper.
bopping.
I'm the big bopper. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I love speakeasy episodes because they're easy to prepare for.
Yeah.
Usually you don't have to. You just kind of come up with a couple of clever questions.
Uh-huh.
But in this case, we've got a movie to talk about. Hopefully everybody who's tuned in on the live or is watching this is not going to spoil the movie for themselves, which we may do to certain levels. We'll try not to like ruin the whole like premise of everything, but you gotta spoil something if we're gonna review it, right?
Yeah.
Something's gonna come. So,
and the other bonus.
yes. Hey, I put in an order for a drink myself. We'll see if it gets here.
In an order. That's brilliant. I need to get one of those. Garçon.
See if my wife sees the text I sent.
Send her clicky fingers.
Yeah.
She'll love that.
Yeah. Hurry up. Let's go. Make it snappy. So we're going to be talking about the Superman movie. James Gunn. It's finally here. The originally titled Superman Legacy. Now it's just Superman. I mean, it's the movie of the summer in a lot of ways. There's been a couple of big movies this summer, but this is the one I think that a lot of people are excited for. It seems fresh. It seems different. But before we get into it, we got to remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. We appreciate it. If you're listening on any podcast platform, at work, on your way home, while you're cleaning your house, we appreciate you too. Give us that thumbs up and a subscribe. It helps a lot, but we would love it if you visited omniversecomics.guide, where all of our podcasts and previous episodes are there. Creator interviews, top 10s, collector item specials, and of course the reading orders to a lot of crossover events that Dave so wonderfully put together. If you want to get into an event and you don't know where to begin, check us out. It might be there. omniversecomics.guide. And Dave, is there anything new to the Omniverse to be on the lookout for?
Well,
people to be.
It's not just events; it's also characters and teams. I want to add more team stuff because I know that that can be quite confusing with things like Defenders, Avengers, and all that when people appear in different titles. But a new one is coming that is long overdue. It's the next part of our Batman family reading order. At the time of recording, it's coming tomorrow, but we'll be live by the time this episode is out. So
you're thorough with the reading orders. I always say second to none, and it's because they are that good.
Well,
so thank you for making them.
A big thank you to the Batman Chronology Project. I do source a lot of stuff just to back up what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
But the Batman Chronology Project is invaluable because it literally clarifies everything, but it is also quite convoluted. So I take a lot of sources and also my own reading and go from there. But seriously, the work the Batman Chronology Project has done is crazy. So yes, very different approach to the way I do it, but thank you for your help.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
I got my cheers.
No freaking way.
Yeah, I did. I got my order came through.
Thanks, Daff.
Oh, and we've got a visitor who wants to. My puppy came through to make an appearance.
Oh, how appropriate!
Right?
Has she got a cape?
Oh man, I was close to getting her. If I had met her brother, who's a yellow lab as well, he would have been named Crypto 100%. And he would have just had a red cape. Like I wouldn't have even had a collar with the. It would have just been a Superman collar. And if you don't know who he is, we got a problem here. But we could talk about a movie that essentially stars Crypto, not a yellow lab. I always thought Crypto was like in the lab family, but this dog is just as cute. Yeah. Why not? He's a good boy.
Or not.
Or not. So, Dave. There's been a lot of Superman movies over the years, a lot of Superman multimedia of the like animation, what have you.
Yes.
Were you going into this? My dog's called.
We could probably say my dog's called Super Shit.
Don't get distracted.
Don't get
Omega
distracted.
Bread's get distracted. The anticipation for this one. Where was it for you going into this? Because I know you're not like a superhero film guy necessarily.
I've never been a blockbuster guy. No,
Right.
I mean, probably as a kid, I saw Ghostbusters at the cinema, and I saw Empire Strikes.
Sure.
No, I didn't see Empire Strikes Back. Saw Return of the Jedi. Sorry, I'm taking my socks off. Getting comfy, eh? And the odd thing. Speakeasy, yeah. That's how we roll. But I've never. I don't know. I think as I got a little bit older, I liked your indie films and your something that experimented and was a bit different. Even if it failed,
Right.
I like what they're trying to achieve. So blockbusters are normally just exploder-armors, popcorn fests, and I'm normally kind of bored because I don't care about action. Good dialogue, pretentious
You
English,
get your action in the
pretentious
comic
Brit.
books, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But
I
the
agree.
comics, it's still got an equal amount of character work and action. But
Right.
blockbuster films tend to be more action led,
Right.
with
Yeah.
notable exceptions. Die Hard.
Yes. That's a beauty.
Yeah,
So going into this one,
yeah.
were you kind of like, let's see what happens?
Hopeful.
Yeah.
I was hopeful,
Felt the same.
and that felt appropriate because I know that you're not as excited about them as you once were, and I kind of felt very much the same. I kind of Marvel films when they have every time, it doesn't matter what they could do a Death's Head film. Lie, that would be a lie. I would be excited for that. But they could do a I don't know, whatever, a Dark Hawk, and I wouldn't be I don't whatever. I wouldn't be excited. I'm not excited by Fantastic Four in the slightest. I don't care. I've probably seen the trailers to death for that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what Galactus looks like. I want to see his face,
Right.
but I'm not bothered about watching that film. I won't go and see it. But this, I wanted to see partly because it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, just text him, and he was asking about it. And he's not someone I thought would ask about this kind of film. And he said, "Was it good?" And I said, "Well, it's a nice change of pace because it's kind of hopeful." And he went, "That's a nice change from a lot of the kind of documentaries I've been watching lately that just made me realize how shit the world is." So I'm very
There's a
similar.
rabbit hole for everything.
There is a rabbit
You know
hole for
what?
everything, but this was
There really is.
as escapism goes. All I
Yes.
wanted from this was what I normally want
Yes.
from a Superman comic, which is
Yes.
light entertainment that makes me feel
Yeah.
good. So I didn't
Yes.
have higher expectations. There was nothing lofty that I wanted from
Yes.
this. And
Yeah.
I mean, not to jump the gun here, but that's what I felt we got.
I second that pretty much word for word in a lot of ways because for me, BVS, Batman vs. Superman, was the movie I had been waiting for my whole life as a comic book fan and as a child. Why it had never been attempted to be made just
Yeah,
seemed
it's
silly
crazy.
because it was the one, or sorry, the two properties that had television shows, movies. It had already been attempted. So it's like, why not try? You're the only ones who have made movies of these characters. Why not do something crazy and put them together? And it took Marvel to really put a feather in their cap of how you can make superhero movies work in a universe, in a joined universe.
They
You can
didn't
finish your
follow the
thought.
Marvel method, though, did they? They didn't follow the way that it worked. I think they. What was wrong with it was just too heavy.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that it was such a letdown ultimately that it also didn't make me get excited for what they had made previously with Man of Steel and with what they were going to do later. Like I kind of saw the direction they were going, like you just said, which works because you could definitely make a Superman or a DC universe. And this one's called Gods and Monsters. Like it's themed as Gods and Monsters.
Yeah, whatever that
And
might
it
mean.
felt like yeah. And it felt like Zack Snyder was going for that himself, but it felt so, I don't even know.
Well, Marvel
It
Manager said
felt
it
very
felt
New
forced.
52.
It felt forced. 'Cause
It did
they
feel
were
forced.
they were playing catch up, and instead of letting it
Yes.
just let it progress naturally. No, we need to catch up with what they're doing. What they're doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Do what you do,
Yeah.
and make your characters.
Yes.
Make these films representative of your characters. But they didn't. I don't
Yes.
fully understand this obsession some fans have with. If it makes you happy, great. I'm not knocking it, but I don't get this like crazy obsession with the kind of Snyder fan stuff of release the Snyder cut. This is how it should have been done. They should have carried on to. I didn't see the appeal. It was all just too dark. It was all dark. It just felt like style over substance.
It was him trying to like you're right. It's very much style over substance. Some people have the cinematography eye for a cool shot. And some people are you can see what it is that they love about comics
Mm.
in their adaptation of it. You can see that they're trying to catch that panel. They're trying to get that moment. And it's very much in that Alan Moore, Frank Miller aesthetic of like a grittier world, a bit of a scarier world. Whereas with this new movie,
Mm.
I'll admit that when I was in the theater, there wasn't too many things that surprised me because what it showed in the trailer was exactly what it delivered.
Yeah.
Like the trailer really was what you got out of this movie. There were a couple
Yeah.
times where you got that James Gunn humor coming through where if you like it, you don't like it, it may or may not work for you. But I didn't hate the levity to match the brightness of the world. Is
I
that the right
I
word?
didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it because I'm not used to that. Meaning it was like the other universe was so opposite,
Oh god,
whereas
it
this one,
was. Yeah.
it makes it right. Like this one's self-aware of making fun of itself sometimes, and for some people they don't like it. But like I didn't like the Thor movies when they went so comedy, like especially with
No.
the God Butcher
God
story. It's
Butcher.
like
They
you
butchered
ruin.
the God Butcher.
Yeah, they really did. And for some people, I've not paid attention to too much of the criticism and the
Pardon me.
whatever they're trying to make of this movie. I just watched it for what it is, and it felt for me a celebration of all things Superman from a lot of different eras. Like I didn't realize that Lex Luthor's girlfriend in the movie was Tessmacher,
Y-
Eve Tessmacher, which
Yeah.
is
So that's
which is
call
which
back
is
to,
cool, right? A little
yeah, to the
callback to the
Christopher Reeve
first
films.
movie.
So why not? And
Yeah.
that's what's quite nice about it actually, that it delves, and that's what you kind of, when we were talking about this before. Finish the sentence, Dave. When we were talking about this before about DC versus Marvel in terms of interpretation, to me, Marvel's continuity has been pretty much set in stone from the 60s to the present. You know, it's probably twisting a bit now because of the film influence kind of folding back in on itself, which is what I think's done the most damage to the
Yeah.
comics. But DC, they had their, it wasn't called this at the time, but Earth 2 continuity, the Golden Age stuff. And then they had the Silver Age stuff, which was Earth 1 continuity, which is slightly different. And then we rejigged it again after Crisis. And then we rejigged it again after Zero Hour. And then we rejigged it again after New
Hmm.
52. So look, we've had, and then you know, you throw in all the adaptations of your primary characters like Batman from the animated series, Brave and the Bold animated series, you know, Superman animated series, the various different Supermen we've had in films and TV shows. There's been so many interpretations of those characters that to me it feels like you've got a certain amount of free reign as long as you hit the core of the character. And what was great about this, and it was great, was it hit the core of Superman. I know there's all this uproar about like, oh, they've made it an immigrant analogy. He's from another planet. It's
You know
very
what? For the
literally.
record, Superman's a refugee. He's not an
Yes, he's a
immigrant, but he's
refugee.
from
You're
another
right.
planet.
Yes.
He's a refugee. That's what he is. And in the comics, his story, I don't feel that this story is about him being an immigrant or a refugee.
No,
I
I
think
don't
that
think it is
the
either.
analogy of no, it's always been about him feeling like he's a human, and then there's a reminder that he's not,
Yeah.
and he has to always struggle in that world, especially in the John Byrne revisioned Superman history, right? I
Mm.
always separate the two because you got the post or the pre and the post crisis. That is the biggest difference in Superman, where his parents being in this movie is
Yeah.
a direct byproduct of the
The Byrne
relaunch
era.
of Superman in '86.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
and that's one of the best features of that. What comes from that leads into the Roger Stern, Dan Jurgens stuff, where he does date Lois,
Mm.
and she does know that he's Superman while no one else does, and she does keep him honest, and there is a conflict of interest
Mm.
with him. It's
Good
good that
point.
they show his imperfections. There's a
Yeah, yeah.
conflict of interest of him as a reporter, and there's a conflict of interest of him being a superhero who feels he can it goes back to you are forbidden to interfere with human history.
They did
Now
it.
he doesn't have that, right?
They did that at the start of the
It's
Burn. It
just
wasn't Burn though, it was the Ordway issues. They did that and he went to, was it Kandar?
yes, yes, that's exactly right. Kandahar. Is that the right one? It
I
could be
think
no.
so.
It's Quran. Quran. No. Q. I don't want to misspeak.
I'm going to look it up. You talk and
Is
I'll look it
someone in
up.
the yeah, someone in
It's
the
the Black
chats
Adam
can
related. God, I haven't actually looked in the
it
chat. I'm so sorry.
I think it starts with I think it starts with a Q, if I'm not
I'm doing a
mistaken.
Superman reading order at the moment, spoilers, and I've written that Kurak.
No,
It's
correct,
Kurak.
correct. That's it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thanks,
That's it.
Brad, for
And
saying quack.
in the Byrne era comics, there is that whole storyline about him being a reporter on location in Iraq as a an assignment, right? And the conflict of two different groups. One's a terrorist groups and overpowering a group of people. And there's definitely correlations all over the
Yeah.
world today. We don't have to
Well,
get specific of what did they mean? Who are they referring to? Which side are they on? Don't just watch the movie because you
it's
want to know what these exist in the
well,
comics.
exactly.
These
It
stories
exists in the
exist.
comics, and unfortunately, history has a tendency to repeat.
Yeah. It's very easy to pull this even when you think of the Superman, um, the Alex Ross Paul Dini
Oh yeah, yeah,
Superman
yeah, yeah.
piece.
Good point.
There's a whole
Superman peas.
series of piece. Yeah,
Avert
I
your
think it's
eyes.
piece where very much like moments in
Superman's
this
peeing.
movie reminded me even him just sitting in the house talking to Lois in his white shirt
Peace on Earth.
talking to her like he's Superman. Peace on Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't
that one.
remember. I just looked it up.
There's moments in that book where what he's dealing with internally is explored. Where like how much should I help and how much shouldn't I help? How much am I becoming a problem with my intervening?
Well,
Those things are always explored with Superman.
it's a question that people who don't read comics ask about these characters. I get this a lot. Like,
Right.
if they're superheroes, why don't they intervene when these big wars happen? And you kind of go, but it's some of the stories have happened. They do exist, and they do kind of answer this.
Absolutely.
And this is a film. This is an
Absolutely.
opportunity to do this in a medium that's, you know, more people are likely to actually delve into and dip into. So whenever I go read the comics, and they go, screw you.
Yeah,
Then.
that's the thing, right? Yeah, is that people are like, yo, I'm really thinking about what was in that movie, and it's like, yeah, now you know why I read comics because the stories are more profound actually when
There's
you
more
read it.
time
Like
to
it hits you
develop,
differently. There's more.
yeah, and explore these things. I've got to say, just the reason I paused for a minute was Omega Bread said, I feel like that's my new catchphrase. It's not intend that pun. It's Omega Bread said, I think with the blurb at the start of the movie about the first metahumans arriving 300 years ago and the overarching theme of this phase being gods and monsters, I think the first metahumans are new gods. And the transporter tech that Lex uses are repurposed apocalypse boom tube tech. Didn't occur to me.
Absolutely.
Didn't occur
Yeah.
to me at all.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
You
mean,
could well be right.
as I watched the movie, all of those possibilities open themselves up. Like you can see how even calling it the Justice Gang, brilliant move. Some people might be annoyed by that. I like it. I like the joke because this little group of characters are members of both teams. So you don't know if Kendra Saunders or Hot Girl is going to be in Justice Society or the Justice League. Because you know that
There are hidden hints of
Mr.
Justice Society in there. In the
Absolutely.
film.
There's all kinds of there's
Yeah.
all kinds of little things here and there that I've only seen it once. So
So
I
yeah.
can't comment. I didn't watch it looking for Easter eggs and looking for like things I missed. I just tried to take in what was there. And what I really like about this movie the most is that it stands so far alone as a Superman movie, where it's a real celebration. It's not so much trying to make this huge statement. It's just like this is Superman, and he's got a dog that is just a dog that loves him and is not always a good
It's a
boy, but it's
cute
because
dog.
like it's still his dog.
Yeah.
And when he goes into Lex's office, spoilers, and wants to know where's my dog. It's like, yeah, that would
I
like we've seen John
questioned that
Wick.
scene. I questioned it,
Mm,
but it also
okay.
makes sense because it's referenced at the end when he talks about him being flawed and I don't always make the right decisions. If you mess with someone's dog, it doesn't matter how placid they are, they're gonna you up. I don't care
Yeah.
if you're Superman or not. So like it was interesting they included that, and then it kind of came back on itself at the end and went, You know, I'm not perfect. Whereas actually, I
Yeah.
think it's nice to kind of treat Superman in that way as well. In some interpretations, it's an almost impossible ideal, an almost all-powerful being who never ever makes a mistake or never gets angry or never. Of course he does. Well, there are stories in the comics where he doesn't, but we don't see it in the films. Normally, it's like Superman
No, it's
3 was like mind control or something where he split and
yeah, yeah,
fought
yeah.
himself in a what was it, coal mine or something? What was going
It
on?
was it was trash yard.
Was it? Oh, that was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
I
yeah.
liked that film when I
It
was
was
a
weird.
kid, but it's
Me too.
shit. And
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it as a kid. But what did you think? What did you think of Superman, the new Superman? Did you buy him?
the
Did you feel
character,
like he was well cast? The actor.
I wasn't sure in the trailers. I was sure by the end of the film that he was the right
Yeah,
person. He didn't
yeah.
look like I'd expect. When you see him in real life, he looks like I'd expect Superman to look. For some
I
reason,
know,
on
right?
screen,
Yeah,
he looked different, and I can't
yeah.
understand how that's worked. But by the end, I bought him as Superman. The thing I didn't buy in terms of him and his family were his parents. That was something I didn't really like. They seemed dumbed down.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they treated Ma Kent, but then I
Yeah,
also thought, you know what? His parents in the Byrne comics were a little bit older folks.
they were. Yeah,
He, they were a little older than he was. I'm happy that they were there, and I'm happy that they were simple people, but when he needs a word to remind him of who he is, he always has that moment with Pa Kent, who
yeah.
just says the simplest things to him to really remind us why Superman is so humble, why he's so pure. And Omega Bread said something interesting in the comments that I think upset a lot of people from the Zack Snyder films, which I would have forgiven had
Yeah.
they gone about the storytelling a different way. But Superman, his main concern is that people don't die.
Hmm.
He wants to save innocent people. It's always been the through theme with Superman. I have to save as many people as I can
Yeah.
because I can. And I don't want to see any innocent people. And if one person's stronger than the other person and they're bullies, like you got to save the person who can't defend themselves. Like
Uh,
that's what I'm here for. And I love there was a point in the Jeff Loeb
Man for All Seasons.
Jeff Loeb no, it was in Hush actually, where Batman says he rescues a child that's been kidnapped from Killer Croc in the like early, very beginning of the storyline, and the kid's terrified because he's been kidnapped by a crocodile. Now Batman is saving him, and he's like, it should be Clark saving him because he
Yeah.
can see his face. I hide my face so that people can be scared of me, but Clark doesn't hide his face so that people trust him. And that's the essence of Superman is that he's not actually hiding from anybody. He's secretive. He's got a secret identity, but he's there. You
Hmm.
see who he is. It's not a mask. It's not some sort of trick, optical illusion, anything like that. Um, and I feel like they captured that from the Fleischer movies to the animated series. Like there were moments in that movie where he's holding up that building and it's so corny and cheesy, but if you know Superman from the Fleischer era, did you ever watch the Fleischer cartoons?
I've only seen one, but I was amazed at the animation.
The
Just how
animation's
it's
so good.
borderline timeless, even though like it
Yeah.
should have dated by now.
Yeah, it just works. And it's a Superman who literally leaps tall buildings. Like he doesn't just fly. And he's very much Superman back to basics, but there's a moment in those original cartoons where he's holding up a building from falling, and then it goes back to the other side and it tilts, and he goes back and holds it on that side. And there's a moment in this movie where Superman's like holding up a building,
Yeah,
and it was very much like an ode to the Fleischer cartoons, where it's like, if you remember these, this is for you, because this is something Superman would try. He would try to hold up the whole building, and
but they also did that thing where he does have a choice, and he can sense there's loads of different people in danger at once. Where did that lid go? That was weird. Lenny and Falcon to the rescue. That's so.
hey,
I like that they addressed that. I like that they did that because that's always been one of the examples I've used about what makes Superman interesting when people go, but he can just do everything. What's the point? He's fly. He's really strong. He can fly. He's really strong. He's got heat vision. He's got cold breath that you can see through shit. But imagine having all that power and being able to help people, but there's so much that you potentially are aware of that you can't possibly hope to keep up with it. He has to make tough
Yeah.
decisions. And I know that they do that a bit in like Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but that's a sadistic choice thing. And yes, they do that in this film actually. But even addressing that as like, okay, it doesn't matter that he's really, really powerful, because I always think like powerful characters. People ask me all the time, who's the most powerful Marvel character? And I always go like, why? Why do you want to know? Or just to know who the most powerful one is. I don't know, but what is it you're trying to get to? Like just who'd win in a big fight? Like, well, it's
That's
not,
what everyone wants to know. Who would win if
who'd
this
win
and
in
this
a big
guy
fight?
go?
Like, come on, it's
I
boring.
always
That's
say
boring.
it depends who's writing
It
it.
depends who's writing it, which is what Stan Lee used to say.
Yeah,
But it's,
that's all it comes down to.
He was fallible in this, and not just from the personality traits and stuff, and not just being able to not do everything, but he's beaten in the opening scene. You know, he's not the all-powerful Superman, which I liked. I liked that he felt a bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, and that when sometimes he charged up, it was like, you're not fully charged yet. Like, only at this much. You should take a little bit more rest.
Makes sense.
Like, that's Superman, though. He's ready to go back out there to do what he's got to do.
Did you feel that this was... Because, I mean, in my mind, Superman should be a family-friendly film. Did you feel this was family-friendly enough? Or does that not bother you?
I feel like it was family friendly enough without the shits. There's a few times that they said shit in the movie that I would say,
Yeah.
more than I've ever seen in a Superman movie.
Yeah, I felt that was unnecessary.
And I know if I don't, yeah, it didn't need to be said.
No.
I didn't care myself, but I think it's the most family friendly Superman film since Christopher Reeves,
Actually,
other than those
yeah.
couple of curse words. Because it's got the monsters, him fighting, it's got the extra superheroes there, it's got cool special effects, like it's got the CGI there, but Superman fighting a kaiju in the middle of the day in Metropolis is just like straight out of a comic book,
Yeah.
Action Comics. Thank you very,
very much so.
And I felt like this was every half hour was an issue.
Yeah.
He really paced it like a comic book
shit.
6-issue story. Where every 30 minutes you got your superhero fix, but you also got your character moment where you got to see what Jimmy Olsen was doing. You got to see Lex Luthor's motivations. You got to the Superman Lois relationship. Like everyone got. I loved Lois in this movie. She was a great
she
Lois.
was great.
She's perfectly cast for Lois, and so was Jimmy.
What about Lex?
Loved Lex. I loved Lex.
See, I still
like
remember
that they're
him
close in
from
age.
About a Boy, and there's a part of me in my head that thinks about him in About a Boy, even though he was like 12 or something when they made that film.
Right.
I love that. I love that film. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, I didn't. There was the thing with God. What's it, Nicholas Hoult? The thing with him as Lex Luthor for me was like he would do this thing with his face, and it would almost be that cartoonish villain thing, and then he'd just rein it back at the last minute. Like it felt perfectly timed. I'm not a villain. I'm clearly the villain, and I'm doing all the bad things, but there's like the smug face thing. Even the little. I loved the bit with him with the mug, with the cape. I loved that. I thought that was great because that was a nice level of humor for that because he's so cocky and sure of himself. To me, he is. Sorry, Gene Hackman. That was Lex Luthor. That was how it reminded me of New 52 era Lex Luthor to a degree because there was a point where you're kind of going, you can almost justify it. I kind of wish they hadn't done the envy bit, but they did. So, hey, that's where we are. Maybe there's a reason for that.
He was a great Lex Luthor.
He was a
fantastic
perfect Lex Luthor to me. I don't see how you can fault that. I mean, I don't want to do the Snyder thingy comparison thing, but what was our last Lex Luthor? It was Facebook Lex Luthor.
Yeah. So annoying. Yeah, it was Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. To me, New 52 Lex Luthor, where he was a bit more ambiguous. He's not an out and out bad guy in those comics. There was like there's a rationale. We should not be reliant on this one person. And actually being the best of the best shouldn't mean because this guy, he's an alien. He's not representative of us. and that's what I kind of liked about this for the most part until they kind of switched up at the end. They did seem to maintain that for a bit. When actually, that like has been one of the most powerful people on Earth in terms of humans, financially. Lex is one of the most powerful people. And what does he do? He squanders it on vengeance and aggressive moves. Superman is one of the most physically powerful people, and he's still totally focused on making sure everyone's okay. That to me is just like, it doesn't matter how powerful. If you're having power, doesn't preclude you from making bad decisions or being inhumane. And you can't go wrong with that as a message for a film. How can you argue that?
Yeah. No, that's Superman though.
That's Superman.
And you're right about the Lex Luthor comparison from New 52. Because that Lex also continues through to the Rebirth era. That's like that one character that is different at that relaunch, that they kept going because he was a little more interesting in the way that they had him during those years.
Yeah.
This isn't a political take at all, or an opinion on anything, but the Lex Luthor in the Byrne era, from Marv Wolfman had said this in an interview. I think it was from the Superman homepage, just to if you want to find the reference.
Okay, cool.
He said that this is years ago. He said that they based that Lex Luthor on Donald Trump.
They did, didn't
the
they?
Guy
because
who
they
runs the
even
city.
did that Lex Luthor one shot where the cover is based on the cover of Trump's book.
That's right. Yes, this has nothing to do with any political leanings of any sort. They said that in the 80s, who would be the guy in the city that would be jealous of a Superman who's got the biggest buildings with his literal name on it, and they gave him a building with an L-shaped, right? You knew it was Lex Tower. It was a great allegory. It was a great comparison.
Yeah.
Right? And they also based Biff Tannen in Back to the Future 2 on the same character.
Did they?
If you remember, yeah, they did. The casino owner who just kind of runs amok and does what he wants to do and runs a casino.
I had no idea.
A lot of stuff. So you take all these tech billionaires and you blend them together with those two archetypes, and you get the Lex Luthor that you get in this. He's beating Superman by playing chess while he's fighting him. Like he's calling chess moves, I think, like C9 or whatever it is he's doing, like battleships. Like he's literally the one fighting Superman with his mind. Brilliant.
Yeah, true. Okay.
That's a great take.
That makes me think of another question for you. Right, this is going to be spoiler territory, so if you haven't seen the film, consider not listening for a bit. How did the twist surprise you? Did you like it? Should they have done anything differently?
Which twist?
Who was under the Ultraman mask?
I liked it because I recognized the symbol, right? I'm like, oh, that's Ultraman. Okay. I didn't put together the way it was used in the film. I'll keep that a surprise. That was really cool when it was put together. I liked that they opened doors for possibilities, for things to happen.
Yeah.
Right? It lets you know that there's room for more of this because we've hinted at a clone of Superman. We've hinted at the fact that he's got a portal that opens up multiverses. We're playing in this, we're setting it up, playing fair about it. We're not doing things to later try to course correct, which is what the Flash movie basically does. It gives you an addendum to that universe and opens up this one.
Right. Okay.
That's basically the bridge, right? So this one is basically opening up the doors for all kinds of possibilities that make sense. Like, yeah, that's how it works in the comics. And if you introduce that into the movie and give people, like, this movie feels like reading a comic book.
Yeah, it really does. And weirdly, I
does.
don't know if I could. While it's got some Silver Agey elements to it, I couldn't point at a particular time in comics history that it 100% feels like. And that's what's nice about it. It feels like a celebration of comics through the decades to me.
I think it captures, you're right about that. I agree with you. And it not that it's based off the same story, but it captures the feeling that All-Star Superman gives you. It's a celebration of all the eras of Superman, a Superman who did die, a Superman who has a relationship with Lois. They're not married, but they do know that they're in a romantic relationship. It's a Superman who is very intelligent. You know, Krypto's a Silver Age thing.
Yeah.
He does exist in the modern comics, but nobody would have dared to put a dog with a cape in a
I'm
Superman
still
movie, thinking
surprised,
that it
and
would
I'm
do
still
well.
surprised it worked. Here's the thing for
It
you.
really did.
Now, while I don't necessarily want to focus on the negatives, is there anything you would change?
I just want to be clear, off of one viewing,
Yeah.
I had a really enjoyable time at the theater. When I watch it again, like I liked Man of Steel when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
I defended it, I justified it, because I was hoping that what came next would address
Balance
the
it out.
problem
Yeah.
that is would balance it out, right? Because I'm like, if you just, just like Exile, Superman Exile story, he does something that is out of character, and the fallout of it is what makes him who he is. That's where we're going here. And because it didn't do that, it just made him like, this guy's just a crappy Superman. That's how it made you feel. Henry Cavill is a great Superman, but it's like you didn't the way that Winter Soldier made me appreciate First Avenger, that didn't happen with Man of Steel. It made me like it less, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, I have to watch it a couple more times to be like, I didn't like this. This I had a problem with. But overall, I'm like, this is refreshing. It pays homage to a bunch of things that are very Superman. The stuff with Crypto is just heartwarming.
Yeah.
Some of the humor maybe could be toned down at times.
Yeah,
Maybe
I agree.
that's where my one criticism could be, where it's like tone down a little your James Gunn humor. It's not always necessary, but it is nice to see.
Dude, I love crude. I felt that maybe there were some bits that were a bit more crude than they needed to be for a what I think should be an accessible family thing. I want to take my 8-year-old to this film, but there are certain elements of it that are making me go, I'm not sure, and I don't think that feeling should be there. The one thing
Yeah.
I would personally change, and it's not really a criticism, it's just a preference, is the casting of Guy Gardner. I wish it was anyone other than Nathan Fillion. I just don't like Nathan Fillion. I don't know. I don't necessarily think he's the right person to play that role. If he was younger, maybe, but it kind of feels like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I feel
part
like the
of the
time's
thing with
passed.
Guy is part of the behavior from him is that he is that little bit younger, so he's got room to grow and change. Whereas if how old is
Right.
Nathan Fillion now?
Right.
Like 50? More? It feels like
More.
you should know better by now, mate. Like, come on. Especially with that haircut. The haircut, I appreciate
Yeah.
the reference to the haircut. I just don't know if that worked. But otherwise, for the most part, I thought the casting was great. The action was great. I thought the script was great. Nothing made me go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Like, nothing made me go, "Eh." I am probably going to take my kids to this film, and I'm looking forward to it. And even though, like, in terms of when he gives something star ratings, I know this is like a boring maths thing, but bear with me. If you give something 3 stars to make it to me, it was a 3-star film out of 5. It was 3, but a good 3. 3 is good. It means it's good. But then I went onto IMDb to rate it, and mathematically, 3 stars should mean it's a 5 or 6 out of 10. But it's not. To me, it's a 7. Like, I came out of there feeling good. I felt good. I don't remember the last time I felt that way coming out of anything.
Yeah.
And
I saw it with my mom,
fun was
and we
that?
both came out
Did
feeling
she like
happy.
it?
She loved it.
Did she?
Yeah. We both came out. Yeah.
Is she on?
Yeah, we both came out feeling good. She's on. She is on.
I'm so glad you
It's a
went.
5-star, 3-star movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I know what you
weirdly
mean,
make
Omega
sense, bro.
Bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense. For a comic book film, I give it an 8 out of 10. I'd have to rewatch it to see where I go back or forth on the thing. I give it an 8 out of 10. I know that's a lame one, but I sincerely mean that for this because I don't feel it's perfection. It's not the trailer truly delivered on what it showed it was going to give us. That's how I felt. I don't feel like I was cheated in any way. I was pleasantly surprised when I needed to be pleasantly surprised. I really liked Lex Luthor. I love Lois Lane. I accepted the ridiculousness of her piloting a spaceship in this universe because of the way it's been set up. Didn't question it. Whereas prior to, the way they tried to make it so serious and grounded when things were like wacky, it's like, well, you want to make it grounded, but now you're making me have to buy into this, which is just, it doesn't work. Like it's just too much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this one really, it really hit the nail on the head just right for a Superman movie that I would probably say, for me, this is a hot take, but there's Superman the movie, and then there's this one, and then everything after that.
Okay.
Live action.
Okay.
Yeah, live action wise. Superman 2 as
Ooh.
well is a really good one, but and I really like, I'll say this, that we didn't have to retell the origin story. I
Yeah.
appreciated
Oh, very much
the
so.
opening cold start that catches you up. Here's where we are. We're in a superhero universe. Let's go.
It started like an Omniverse episode, dude. Boom. To wrap it
Right?
up, dude, what are you looking forward to?
Supergirl.
Are you?
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's keep going.
Do you know,
I know it's
I didn't
heavily
like
based
The
off the
Woman
Tom
of
King
Tomorrow.
story,
I
but
didn't like it, but I'm keen to see that film.
yeah, let's see where we go with this. And I'm interested in the Lanterns TV show
Mm,
that is within this universe. That seems interesting. I'm interested in the Waller TV show.
me too.
Amanda Waller's
What?
such a cool
I'm
character.
so glad they've kept Viola Davis for this guy. Viola Davis, I don't know how to pronounce
Oh,
her name.
she's
This perfect
perfect.
casting. She's probably the best casting that any DC thing have ever. To me, sorry, Christopher Reeve. I'm sorry, but
No,
that
Viola
Amanda
Davis is a
Waller
perfect
casting is
Amanda
just like,
Waller.
come on. Have you seen Creature Commandos yet?
No, I have not. I heard it's good.
It's so much fun. It's horrendously violent, but it's perfect. And what I like about this is that they're not trying to make everything a 12 and everything's going to be just like this is for you and this is for everyone and it's archetypal and you just go and watch the Avengers again and again and again. They're making it the characters. So Creature Commandos, while it's not really based on the original Creature Commandos, and it's not technically based on any creature. We have a Creature Commandos reading order, and you can see how that functions and how that all fits together.
Superman was a blast. I hope everyone had fun watching it. And if you're watching this episode and we spoiled it for you, go watch the movie. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah,
It's a ton of fun. It's a
it
great time at the
really
theater.
is.
Dave,
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
never a
I'm so happy you
chore.
enjoyed the movie. I was wondering, like, does he hate it? How much does he hate it? And it's so refreshing that you were like, this was great.
This is my come home drunk film now. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
Evil Dead 2. Now it's Superman. When this comes out, I'm getting it, and I'm gonna watch it whenever I come home from the pub
Nice.
to make
I'm gonna
myself
I'm
feel
gonna do the
better.
same. Definitely need to own this film in physical copy, digital copy. It's a keeper.
Yeah.
As always, a pleasure to hang out with you, dude.
Likewise.
OmniverseComics.guide. Check us out. Check out the website. Check out Dave's hard work. It's incredible. The reading orders are second to none, as I always say, but that's because they really are.
I hate trailers. I'd rather not watch them. And they absolutely needed to show the trailers they've shown. And I understand why they've done it. That distracted me a little bit watching the film because I felt like, oh, it's that bit, it's that bit, it's that bit, it's that bit. I wish I hadn't seen,
Me
I wish I
too.
hadn't
Me
watched the
too.
trailers. That's
Me too.
probably really my only serious criticism is that I wish
Me
I'd gone
too.
in blind.